Hello all. Thank you for joining us today. This is Team 2 Oral Briefing for Project 2, and the topic that we're looking into is Wayne State University engineering problems. The outline that we are following today is the following. First, I'm going to introduce all the team members and their qualifications of how they can talk about this topic. Then we're going to go into the topic itself and going into a little more detail to clarify things. Then I'm going to talk about my teammates and what they will be talking about later on in this presentation. Then we're going to talk about the benefits of co-ops and internships for the students. Then we're going to look at other institutions that already have this program and the benefits of it. Then we're going to talk about introducing the opportunities to Wayne State. And then we have to look at how to actually introduce it to the engineering department. Then we're going to go into general team information and then the conclusion. Our team members. My name is Mitchell Redding and I'm a mechanical engineer. We have Stefan and Ian that are also mechanical engineer, and then we have Kelsey, a biochemistry major. Our group member qualifications. We have Stefan, Ian, and Kelsey. They do not have any co-ops or internships within their college career so far. And then I have one, and I work at ATS Automation out in Wixom. And then I had to find that throughout the university because the university does not have enough resources and sources to get me or any of us into a co-op or internship position, and I had to reach out besides them. The topic that we're discussing. Wayne State University Engineering Resource Center is not providing us with the right connection to be successful in our industry. They act like they give us enough resources to go by, but they are not giving us the right connections of how to get those positions. Then we want to help Wayne State find a company that will partner with them to help the engineering students go into the real workforce. Then we're going to be changing the opportunities for Wayne State's engineering students to broaden the students' education. The forecast. Stefan will go into more detail about the benefits for co-ops and internships, as well as other colleges that offer this program. Ian will talk about why we think it's really necessary to have a partnership with another company and how we plan to introduce the topic to Wayne State University's engineering department. And that will be hard to do. Kelsey will be talking about the conclusion and last remarks of the whole topic, and then the upcoming schedule.
Thank you so much, Mitchell, for familiarizing our audience with the topic as well as our team members. I'm sure, as you've probably heard earlier, my name is Stephanie Stamate. I'm a sophomore at Wayne State University in the Mechanical Engineering program, and I'd like to talk to you today about the difference between co-op and internship programs, the benefits of these programs, as well as the opportunities of these programs. To begin, co-op programs are full-time, meaning students will have to take a break from their schoolwork so that they could do this. These programs do last from about 6 months to sometimes even longer. They are paid, and they are more common among engineering and technology students. On the other hand, internship programs are not typically full-time, although this does allow students to become more flexible in juggling their schoolwork and their actual work at the same time. It's also beneficial for those who would like to finish and graduate in 4 years, by allowing them to take these internship programs during the summer and their schoolwork during the school year. Unfortunately, these programs are not always paid, and they are more common among other majors besides engineering and technology programs. The benefits of co-ops and internships. There are many, many benefits for the students. To begin, the experience part of it. They gain hands-on experience of what it's like working in the industry. The students gain experience firsthand whether or not they even like the field of work. And they even get to test their skills that are taught in the classroom. For the resume, it looks really, really good when you have co-op experience on your resume, making it a lot easier to get hired in the future. And on the personal level, since these programs are paid, this is already a benefit itself, and it also allows them to attain personal connections with other workers. Now, believe it or not, there are also benefits for the employer, but these are typically more general. Like, students can be an ideal source of manpower. For example, if an industry decides to let go of a larger group of people, these students can take over for a bit and replace them. Employers can also reduce future recruiting costs, meaning instead of having to go around looking for students that they would possibly like to hire, they already have an idea because they worked hands-on with those students and already gained personal connections with them and so on. The students can also help build a bridge between the employer and the academic institution. And lastly, it gives the employer the opportunity to mold the students into the ideal employee that they would like to have in the future. Lastly, the opportunities offered at other institutions. Butler University, Cornell University, Georgia Institute of Technology, Duke University. These are all universities that I'm sure a lot of you have heard of, and it's not just a coincidence. They have some of the best co-op programs in the country. And not to mention, there's also schools near us that have some of the best co-op programs in the country, like Adrian College and Purdue University West Lafayette in Indiana. Employers not only better recognize you as a potential employee, but also your abilities because of the school that you came from and the co-op programs that you were at. So, thank you so much. I'd like to bring this to the next person.
Hi, I'm Ian Sharp, and I'm a mechanical engineering student here at Wayne State University. I'm currently in my sophomore year, and I hold a 3.8 GPA. And I'm here today to talk about the importance of really getting the College of Engineering to have co-ops with certain companies, make it really easy for students to get full-time internships with companies, and just have general connections with other companies in the industry, and make it really easy for job seeking. And I also will describe how our group will probably make contact with the College of Engineering and talk to the department heads in order to make this happen. Now, let me start off by saying getting co-ops as an engineer when you're in college is extremely important. First of all, because they are heavily favored in the industry. If you send a resume to HR and they say co-op, and it's around the same field as what they want, you automatically go to like the top 5 resumes. It's just like research has shown that if like co-ops are heavily favored, I will hammer that home. And many engineering firms require prior experience, such as internships or co-ops, just to get the job in the first place. And it also builds relationships with employers, like between the employers, the students, and the actual college. So more co-ops and student internships can be going on. And another thing to point out is Wayne State is located in Detroit, which means it really has no excuse to not make co-ops with huge engineering companies, because, you know, Detroit is known as the Motor City. We're the mechanical engineering powerhouse, just to name the least. Like, we have Ford, one of the biggest mechanical engineering companies, although it might go electric in the future. And we have DTE, multiple energy-based companies. Just to say, like, Wayne State not having a co-op program, there's really no excuse because we're surrounded by engineering companies. It's in the middle of Detroit. And now let's move on to the next slide. And how we're going to make contact with the department heads in engineering. It has been shown that they're extremely resistant to any form of change to their curriculum. So what's probably going to start is we're going to write formal letters to the department heads explaining our complaints on the college. And then we're probably going to end up emailing them even though they don't listen to it. And what will happen in the end is we will request appointments with the department heads, which they will probably refuse. And, even if they do have it, we can have a well-educated discussion on what needs to happen, what needs to go on. We just need to voice our opinions. That's really what needs to go on. They need to hear this info. They need to see what's going on in the real world. And then if none of that works, we can eventually request an audience with the entire department just to see if anyone will listen to our voice. Because, as I said before, these firms are really looking for co-ops. They're really looking co-ops go to the head of the list. And if you want to be at the top of the list, you need co-ops. And it would make it extremely desirable for more engineering students to come to Wayne State if they had a co-op program. Now, I'm going to be handing this part over to Kelsey.
Hello, my name is Kelsey Conway, and I am a junior studying biochemistry at Wayne State University. Here I am going to be discussing the list of responsibilities that we as a group have come up with that will need to be completed in order to be able to make this proposal plausible. I will then be discussing how our group is planning on communicating our research and findings to each other, and how we are going to ensure that we each are contributing equally to the project. I will lay out our tentative timeline that we have in mind and then go over the main purpose of the presentation again. We have three main components of research laid out for our proposal. The first is going to be finding companies in Detroit that would be willing to work with Wayne State to offer co-op or internship opportunities. This is going to be a critical part of the project and possibly the hardest part to actually fulfill. Mitchell is currently working with the company, so we felt that he would be able to ask his employer if they were interested and maybe even see if they know any other companies that might be interested. Ian is going to be responsible for contacting the Department of Engineering at Wayne State to ask questions about why there is no current program that connects companies with Wayne State students. He will also ask about the possibility of a connection being formed in the future and find out who would be the best person to give our proposal to. I'm going to be reaching out to engineering students who have been able to get internships and to students who have not been able to get internships to see how that has affected their education and how they think it will affect their future career. Stephanie is going to be in charge of organizing all the research we find. She'll be in charge of ensuring that we have enough of each of our topics to make a complete proposal. She'll also be available to step in and help any of us if we need it. So far as a team, we have been using iMessage as our main form of communication. This is how we ask each other questions and how we plan out how we're going to do our assignments. We use our school emails to send the final documents and recordings back and forth for one final review by the whole team before we submit them. We've been able to come up with a few times during the week where we can all meet when necessary to finish the assignments. We have been using Google Docs and slides for the assignments so that everyone is able to contribute to the documents. This works best for us because everyone can work on it at their own time and pace and ensures that everyone is able to complete their part of the assignments. So at the beginning of this upcoming week, we are planning on reaching out to different companies, the engineering department, and the different students to see what kind of responses we'll receive. We don't really know how people are going to respond, but we are hoping for some feedback to help us see where our next step should be. After next week, we will be continuing our research by sending out questionnaires and maybe set up some interviews if people are willing. We will continue to look for companies and hopefully be able to set up a meeting with someone from the department who would be able to make this change happen. Once we get back from spring break, our plan is to start drafting the proposal and finish up with our research to ensure we have enough time to make the proposal the best it can be. So the main purpose of this proposal is to try and get Wayne State to offer internship and co-op opportunities for the engineering students. Co-ops and internships offer invaluable job training that many companies look for. Other colleges offer similar programs to what we're proposing, and this helps their students jumpstart their career by having that experience. Detroit is a huge city with many companies that hire engineers to work for them, and we feel like there should be a connection between those companies and Wayne State because it would greatly benefit all the students. We have a loose schedule laid out to guide us and keep us on track for this assignment. We are able to communicate easily with each other and all know what our roles are in this project. I hope that we have clearly explained why we feel this is necessary to bring to Wayne State. Please let us know if you have any suggestions on how we can approach companies or approach the department, or if you feel that we need to add anything more to our proposal that would help us have a stronger case. On behalf of my teammates and I want to thank you for watching and for any and all feedback. I hope that you're looking forward to these new opportunities that will hopefully be coming to Wayne State soon. Thank you so much.